you're very welcome back. Given out already, yeah, that's just him. New Irish comedy drama movie, The Last Rite, is about to hit our cinema screens. A story of two brothers, one stranger and a coffin. It stars the legend that is Colm Meaney, Game of Thrones star Michael Houseman, alongside hotly tipped newcomer Samuel Bottomley. And they're all here with us this morning, along with the movie's director, Aoife Crean. You're all very welcome this morning. We didn't forget you, Aoife. No, we didn't forget you. Did they forget about me? We obviously couldn't forget about you. Good morning to you all.
Good morning.
Good morning. Is it fair to say welcome home to you, Colm? Is it still home when you come back to Dublin?
Or you could say, how long are you staying for us? But you usually get when you arrive home, like, yeah, great to see you. How long are you staying for?
Yeah. You don't know where you are.
Huh? I don't know where I am. I thought I was coming to Kerry, I swear to God. I'm an outsider, you know.
You're still in Dublin.
I got in the car and they got on the M50 and drove for hours, it seemed. And where are we?
We're in Ballymount.
A place called Ballymount. Nobody in Dublin could tell you...
He's gone very foreign, isn't he?
No one in Dublin could tell you where Ballymount was.
That's why we're here.
Except the people of Ballymount,
yes,
I would
we're
imagine.
hiding out here.
Do you know, Colm, before we get to the movie...
Our driver this morning, cab driver, was also complaining it was impossible to get here. But
really?
I actually didn't notice that on our way here. It was perfectly fine.
It was perfectly smooth, yeah. He just wants to give out, doesn't he? Colm, we have this weird thing about you. Regardless of how many movies you do, regardless of Star Trek and The Simpsons and Law & Order and all those amazing achievements, I feel when I see Colm Meaney on the screen, and you can disagree with me, but I still go, there's Colm Meaney. It's like we have this ownership of you as Irish people.
Our Colm Meaney.
Do you get that? You're ours.
No, it's very nice to hear, though. I'm glad you feel that way. But I'd hope occasionally you kind of get into whatever character I'm playing as well.
Yeah.
You know?
We do get there too. Don't worry.
Good.
Don't worry. It's meant as a compliment, for sure.
Thank you very much.
Let's talk about this latest project.
Yeah.
And we'll start with you, Aoife, as director and writer. Tell us a little bit about the movie first, the premise of the movie.
Well, it's a comedy drama road movie about Daniel, who comes down from New York to attend his mother's funeral. And on the plane home, the gentleman beside him, lovely Jim, played by Jim Norton.
The lovely Jim Norton.
Lovely Jim Norton.
Gentleman Jim.
Oh, he's so lovely.
He's a gent, yeah.
A total gent. But God love him, he dies.
Yeah, I was just saying, he didn't like him that much, though. They killed him in the first 10 minutes.
I know, yeah.
So he dies on the flight, sitting beside...
Yeah, but before he's died, they got talking, and Padraig, who's Jim's character, he's written Daniel down as his next of kin. So then when Daniel gets back to Clonakilty, where he's his younger brother to look after, the police think that he's responsible for Padraig, and so there's a series of miscommunications, but Daniel decides, kind of out of the good of his heart, and he's also trying to persuade his brother Louis to come back to New York with him. So they kind of strike a deal, and Daniel says, well, look, if I bring Padraig back, because Padraig's from Rathlin Island, I forgot a crucial bit of information.
Yes.
So Daniel and Louis are in Clonakilty, and Padraig is from Rathlin Island, and if they don't bring his body home to Rathlin Island, he's going to be buried by Cork County Council, just the other end of the country. So they're doing a good thing.
So this is very much a fun Irish comedy, but with a kind of a darkness through it as well. Would that be fair to say? A bit of dark humour?
Yeah, I'd say probably like a little bit of black humour and also some poignancy. Yeah. I would hope. There's Daniel's carrying a burden and such, and Louis and Daniel have something that they need to sort out, basically. I won't ruin anything.
Without giving anything. How would you describe the relationship between the brothers? Is it? Do we see it as a happy relationship at the start of the movie?
I'd say pretty non-existent at the start, really.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't seen each other for a long time, have they?
Yeah, it's a very difficult relationship, I'd say.
But
we're forced to reconnect throughout the story.
Yeah.
But it was you two had to get along though as people. You know, when
well, that was very difficult too.
Yeah,
clearly, you can see you struggle with that.
No chemistry whatsoever. I want to know, Aoife, this is your first feature film where you've written, directed it. How do you get a lineup like this for your first outing?
I know. I still can't believe it, to be honest. What are you doing here? But it honestly was a dream. And, I mean, Daniel, like, I've had the character of Daniel in my head for so long, like about 8 years since I started it. And to kind of get McKeel to play, seeing him on set was, I kept kind of pinching myself because it was like, oh my God, he's so Daniel. And it's like, McKeel as an actor has such a mix of compassion and depth and comic timing, which is just kind of crucial for the role. And then my whole family still can't believe that Colm Meaney is in the film. I mean,
So
I agree.
That's exactly what I mean by the Colm Meaney effect.
It was so
So
embarrassing.
where does this young fella fit into the script, and who does he play in that? You see,
Go
right.
ahead, go ahead, Eva.
Yeah.
I'll let you. I'll let you.
No, go ahead. No, tell him.
Well, this young fellow plays Detective Crowley, who's a kind of, quite a legendary detective down in Clonakilty, who basically gets the wrong end of the stick. There's a series of miscommunications, and so he thinks that...
He thinks there's something up.
Yeah. And he's got a
And
little
is determined
rookie.
to get to the bottom of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He kind of goes straight to, worst case scenario, no matter what's going on. It's
He wants to do the right thing.
Of course.
Well, the law's the
As
law.
any good detective does, yes.
The law is the law, you know what I mean? Well, when you ask about, this, and it's like Jim Norton and the rest of the cast as well, are all fantastic. These guys, but when you I actually meant that including you guys. Sorry, when how did Aoife get such a cast together? It was the script. The
and it always is about the script. isn't it, Colm?
and Aoife wrote the script. You know what I mean? And I read the script and I just immediately went, I want to be part of this because it was so good, so moving. So because it's and as you said, I think Michael yesterday, you laugh out loud. Reading the
It's
script,
always a good sign.
which is very rare when you read a script, as you know, Simon, to laugh out loud. It was and also be moved and there's a tremendous heart to the film.
Yes.
So when you read a script like that, you just want to be in it. So I think that's every actor responded in that way.
How do you find the difference, Michael? This is probably directed at you, but Colm, you've had a huge experience with this as well, in terms of going from something like Game of Thrones, which is episodic, it's a machine, it's a long-term, 6, 7 months, whatever, to film, to shooting a movie in over a amount of weeks. Is there a different process for you as an actor?
Yeah, I think so. It's a different thing. It's
a different animal.
It's a different animal, yeah. And, it's. I think we're in the golden age of TV, and
Absolutely,
so many amazing TV shows are being made all over the world. But I also really enjoy going to the theater and watching a movie, and have that experience with other people there, and as an actor, making movies are just so much fun too,
Yeah, of course. It's lovely that you have done both, and you'll continue to do both, no doubt.
Absolutely.
Did Game of Thrones totally change your life? Is that your breakthrough, breakout, just game changer for you from a career point of view? It has to be, doesn't it?
Yeah, I definitely shifted everything in another gear because the show is just so massive,
incredible,
popular. Yeah.
But it gives you an opportunity then to be in the frame for projects like this, which is actually you can tell it's a true love of yours doing a project like this.
Absolutely, and projects like independent films like ours are rare. And
where do you stand? And I'll put
it's a treat to be a part of it.
I'll put this question to all of you because we've heard a lot recently about the whole, the comments made about Marvel movies and those big franchises that they might be destroying independent cinema.
I'll let you do this one.
Right, Colm, there's an easy one for you.
I don't have an opinion on this at all. I'm totally with Scorsese and all that. I absolutely agree. It's destroying cinema. I mean, we talk about this. Another very impressive thing about what Aoife did with this film is the fact that she got it made at all. It's so
to get it
difficult.
over the line.
It's so difficult to get films made nowadays, particularly independent films like this. And you get this great script. It's funded. She's ready to go. Wow. How impressive is that, Because we were talking yesterday, it's like the great auteur director, like the American directors of the 70s, Scorsese, Hal Ashby, all these guys, they wouldn't get a film made today.
No, and Jim Sheridan said that recently, that, fellas like them, like Coppola and that, they would not get movies made because there's no room for them in the multiplexes and in the cinemas.
No.
But for someone like Scorsese to say it's not cinema about the Marvel movies, would you agree with that?
Totally.
You don't think it's cinema?
No. It's more like a theme park ride or something.
It's an experience, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I remember thinking that years ago, as you know, these films started to take off, that, you know, because surround sound, this sounds, it's like, and all they're short of is like moving seats, moving chairs, and you know, give you a physical sensation as well as, you know, the audio and visual.
That you spray of water.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's immersive. Yeah.
You know, and it becomes like a theme park ride.
It's an interesting analogy.
And basically, you have like, you know, 7, you know, big action sequences in a film, and then you try and hang a bit of a story on that. You know, I tell you, it's for an actor the most boring thing in the world to do.
Before we run out of time, guys,
sorry.
Colm,
I've left Simon Delaney speechless.
That's a first. That's a first, Colm.
well, I have something to say before we let you go, because you didn't think you were going to escape this, did you? You have, of course, fronted the 3 big Roddy Doyle movies. You are the face of the Roddy Doyle, The Commitments, the Van, The Snapper. That's where I'm going. You've been nominated for a Golden Globe for your role as Desi Curley, but himself here has been playing Desi Curley in The Gate.
Superbly, I believe.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think
to rave reviews.
The baton has been passed, I think, Simon.
Well, I tell you, it was quite nerve-wracking going into it, because it was the world premiere of the play. Roddy had written the play, and he's probably the most quoted Irish dad in cinema history. Yeah. It's one of the most loved Irish movies. You know, everybody quotes The Snapper all the time. So when I was asked to do it and play Jimmy, literally the first thing I thought about was you.
There's our split screen.
And we've worked together. We did a film together, and we've known each other over the years.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, because they're huge shoes to fill, and I was very conscious of your legacy as Desi or as Jimmy Rabbit. But what a part!
Absolutely.
The writing.
Absolute writing is superb.
It's all in the writing.
You know?
So talented, isn't
and
he?
I was very fortunate to get to play that character 3. I mean, he had different names in each film because of copyright.
That's right.
Is that it? Okay, I was going to ask about that.
Yeah, Jimmy, Desi, and I can't remember what else it was called.
You were Jimmy twice and Desi once.
Desi once, okay, there you go. So it was something to do with copyright. See, he knows more than that. But to get to play that character 3 times in 3 different films was such a gift, you know?
Yeah, and it's been a gift to audiences over and over again, isn't it?
It still is, though.
They're a joy to watch.
I'm sure people still quote him to you all the time.
I had one in London I was at this awards thing in London on Tuesday night, the Irish Post, and this guy hovers behind me and goes, "How did you get yourself here? On a Suzuki?"
From The Commitment. That's one of the best lines. Yeah. God sent me. Is that right?
God sent me.
Oh, they are the most quoted movies for a reason. Sam, we didn't have a proper chat to you. We'll have to come back with Sam another time.
Even if you hear his accent, I think it's
So where are you from, Sam? Very quickly.
Yeah.
I'm from Bradford.
You're Bradford.
Bradford.
Very good, yeah.
And his Cork accent is
frightening,
impeccable.
It passed the quirk test.
Really?
He got a standing ovation in Cork the other night.
Come on, give us a few lines. Give us a few lines.
No.
When it's sick, it's kind of,
It's early as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, listen, it's too early for me.
We appreciate you all coming in. We really appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And the best of luck with the movie.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
And it's on December 6th.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to read that now. Don't forget, The Last Ride will be released nationwide on December 6th in the cinema. Go to see it in the cinema. You won't want to miss it.
Don't miss it. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.